Hi everyone. In this video, we will talk about scenario-based assessment by ConceptNinjas. So in today's era of AI, the engineering roles demand more than just writing a code. Companies need people who can think through the solution, design systems, identify bottlenecks, and reason about the scale and capacity at every level of hiring. So that is why scenario-based assessments matter much in this era. Now, we need to test how candidate thinks when they face real problem, not just what they remember. We are not taking the memory test, but we are seeing how they apply their knowledge for solving a real world problem. Earlier, this assessment were hard to scale because they required the manual evaluation, making them time consuming and expensive. You need to call each and every candidate to your office, take a practical exam, and analyze their solution and give them the feedback. Now with AI, it has changed. At Concept Ninjas, we used AI evaluated scenario based assessments to assess design thinking and decision making, evaluate real world production style solution, and measure how candidate reason about the performance and scalability. This makes deep scenario based screening practical, scalable in AI era. Now you don't need to bother about one candidate or 100 candidate. System is going to perform consistent for each and every candidate. Now we will take you up how we are creating and executing scenario based assessment on Concept Ninjas. For creating a scenario based assessment, we just click on the new test on your dashboard. You click on the custom design. You choose scenario based assessment. Here you put the name of the test. For example, level 2 screening for developers. Here you put the description about the test. This test evaluates complete solution designing capability of a candidate. Now I have to tell the duration of the test. Now you choose the job profile. What will the job profile of the candidate? So here I'm putting it as software development engineer. You can choose depending upon your requirement. Now we choose the experience level. My software development is going to be say senior level. So I'm choosing senior. Now this is very crucial part of the test creation. So before creating the test, we discuss thoroughly with the hiring team. So what are their objective of hiring of this candidates? If is this candidate is going to be like the role also plays a very important role. What will be the role of the candidate in the team? So as we are creating a test for developer, first of all we look for the coding skills of the candidate. Then how is he solves the problem. We can prioritize or deprioritize a parameter. For example, solving is the highest priority for me at this point of time. So I'll make it problem solving at a higher priority. So while choosing the candidate, I'll look for the candidate who has scored highest in the problem solving. Okay. Then I go with attention to details. So he should write a code in a way where he takes care of the edge cases also. My code should always be reusable. So I can choose as many as parameters from the list. So for now, I'm choosing say 5 parameters: problem solving, coding skill, attention to detail, reusability, and readability. Okay, so these are the parameters on which my code will be evaluated. Now I'm going to add question in my test. So for scenario based, you can add only one question. So I'll add one question from the library. So this is the public library available for the demo. We add question depending upon your requirement. So I'm adding this question. So you'll see my test is ready with one question, publish test. So once my test is published, I can go to the setting page and do the basic settings for my test. So you'll see that these are my parameters for this test. I can change this parameter only at the time of creating the test. No editing of this parameters is allowed. Otherwise you can change the test name, duration, description, depending upon your requirement. But the role and these are freezed at the time of test creation. Now there are settings, the proctored settings that you can switch on or off depending upon your requirement. We don't stop candidate ever from giving the test. So even if candidate doesn't allow proctoring on his system, you will be notified on the reports that he hasn't allowed, but he will be able to give the test always. Now, my test is ready to be used. At this point of time, we ask your team to review the test. The test is reviewed, okay, from every parameter, then you just invite the candidate. For example, you are inviting candidate ABC. You put his email ID, and mobile number. If you put a WhatsApp number, a WhatsApp invite is also shared. If it is not a WhatsApp number, then only email is shared. The email is custom email along with the test link. When candidate receives the test link, receives the email, this test link will be embedded in his email. Okay. So now I'm taking you to the candidate's UI. So candidate will click on the test link. He will be landing to this page. You will see this is the test name, level 2 screening for the developers. The test evaluates complete solution designing capability of the candidate. Okay. Continue to the test. Candidate is asked to download and install VS Code. If he doesn't have a VS Code, this link takes to the VS Code library. He can download. Okay, I already have, so I'm not downloading. So I'm clicking continue. Then he has to install a ConceptNinjas extension. So that is published on the marketplace. They can download and install this plugin. Okay, so I have already done. Continue. I have already installed. Now, these many proctoring is needed for giving the test. If candidate allows, then we use it. If it doesn't allow, then also we allow the candidate to give the test, but we flag such candidates. Okay, we ask them to share the screen. Okay. Any point of time so even if candidate doesn't allow, we allow them to give the test. Basic details are filled in. Put the basic details. Furthermore, submit and continue. Now, by clicking this button, candidate is asked permission for opening the Visual Studio on the machine. So now you can see the visual code is available now. Okay, at this point of time, a folder is created on the machine and we try to connect the test to that folder. Okay, the folder has to be opened. Then it will ask that, do you trust the authors? So we are connecting candidate session. Okay. I trust the authors. So now my test is getting open on VS Code. So my session has been connected from VS Code to the ConceptNinjas. You can see ConceptNinjas plugin here. Okay. Now you can see the question that we had added in the test is imported here. Okay. The candidate can read the question. He can write the complete solution by creating multiple files here. Click on the file, write the code. The candidate can uh, create multiple folders, multiple files, depending upon his requirement, the way he thinks that he can solve the problem in a better way. Okay. So he will write the code and he submits the solution. Once he is done, he will submit the solution. The test is completely proctored. We proctored the audio, the video, the screen, everything of the test. If candidate uses any other tools while giving the test, that is also proctored and is shown into the report. Submit. So they don't need to go beyond the test screen. They can just submit the code from VS Code. Once the candidate submits the code, this code is shipped to the ConceptNinjas repository. And we will be able to see candidate's performance here. So you will be able to see that one candidate has participated. In every 5 minutes, we generate the report of the candidate. So this icon shows that we have got the submission, but we are waiting for getting the score generated. For the demo purpose, I'm showing you a similar report until this result is generated. So you can see good performance I'm showing you. These are the candidates who have appeared in the test. Now I want to show you up a report, good score. So you can see in the basic details, we are showing up parameters wise rating, how much percentage in each parameter the candidate has scored, and the overall rating. So this click takes you to the detailed report where we show you up the performance summary of the candidate. So it shows the candidate has submitted a complete functional ASP.NET Core Web API project using C# and Entity Framework Core. And that is a complete summary of the code submitted by the candidate. Then we score them on various parameters. So in problem solving, it has scored 80%. Now, why he has scored 80% is shown up into the summary column. In coding skill, he had scored 70%. But why those 30% is not there, we give you the reason, but could improve with more consistent error handling and comments. So we look for each and every parameter and give you the overall score. So the overall score of the candidate is 4.2 out of 5. Okay. And you will see the problem statement is shown to you, as well as if you will click here, you will be able to download the code file of the candidate. So as a result, what you are getting? You're getting the complete details of the candidate, complete proctoring of the candidate, as well as what is the performance summary, parameters wise score, problem statement, and the complete source code by the candidate. So this helps you to determine the total capabilities of the candidate while they solve a real world problem. Now, traditional tests are in place. They do the initial screening. We see how candidates are good in their concepts, how they don't know the subjects. But while we talk about application of those concepts in the real world problem solving, scenario based assessments are going to play a great role. This kind of assessment can bring down the hiring efforts to 50%, and the time to hire will reduce at least by 60%. So let's work together and see how we can help you to solve all your hiring problems. Thank you.